Okay, so continuing on Nun Gimel Dallas, we said last time was a beautiful piece. In Rinah, again, about the concept of recognizing and what brings us to the place of Simcha, brings us to the concept of recognizing, remember, who we're standing with, recognizing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Kol Yachol. And there's nothing Hashem can't do. Anything, if we even have any suffix of Emunah in that sense, it's so to speak, like we're denying that aspect that Hashem is Kol Yachol. Right? We gave the beautiful analogy about the bank manager, like you get on the bus, turns out the guy next to you is the bank, beautiful stuff. So anyway, let's continue. So we're talking about the concept of Rinah, which is the concept of Simcha, which is we keep on saying that having Simcha for Tefillah is mamish, and it's an ikr. We keep on talking about this concept of Simcha. So now we're going to go a little bit deeper into that. So, ha-Simcha, Eina achas mi pa'ulos anefesh o mikra koreba. So, what is joy? Joy, Simcha, happiness. It's not something it's not an act of the soul, so to speak, or it's not just something that happens to the soul, right? Right? Elohi etzem techunas anefesh v'tiva. Rather, it's actually the soul's natural state. Listen, this is fantastic. What he's about to say is beautiful. He's saying that Simcha is not just something that happens. A person doesn't just get happy. A person doesn't just feel happy. Rather, a person, and neshama is naturally is happy. What does that mean? When there's nothing that's darkening it, that's casting a shadow over the neshama, over the nefesh. Listot mitchunasa hativit. That it stays in its natural state. So what does this mean? Basically what he's saying is, in this first line is incredible. He's saying that the soul is naturally in a place of simcha. That's the nature of a soul. The nature of a person is to be happy, right? And the only reason we're not happy is when there's some sort of cloud, some sort of shadow that casts over it. Then the neshama can't shine, and then, so to speak, in its natural state. So let's explain this concept. So ha-nefesh, nadsala hime alamas elyonim. We know the nefesh is created, the neshama is created from the alamas elyonim, the holy upper worlds. Shekol mitziyosam hi hatava shlemos v'tainugim shel kedusha. The entire essence of the upper worlds is pure kedusha and holiness. V'chol tchunas halamos hahen hi simcha. And the main characteristic of those worlds is pure simcha, right? That's the main characteristic of the upper worlds. To be in a constant state of pure simcha. They don't have to worry about, bad things happening and stress and money, right? Right. Raya, what's the raya for this? What's the proof? Delo matzanu bechazal ba'avodasim shel malachim v'chol tzavei shamayim zulas shira. What's the proof of this? The upper worlds are just filled with simcha all day and nothing else, because we don't find anywhere else in Chazal that there's any malach that doesn't have its main tafkid as being singing shira. Right, malachim all day. That's what they do. They praise Hashem. They sing. They sing shira. Who do we got? Who's walking in here? It's coming in slowly. It's Sefei Chaim. Okay, there we go. Oh, shkoyach. Right. So the proof for that is that the malachim, all they do all day is sing shira. That's what the essence of the upper worlds is simcha. Is shira and simcha and shevach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And our neshama comes from the upper worlds. And our neshama is constantly basking in the upper worlds. All of the shefa, all of the bracha, all of the life force, the chayus that our neshama has, it all comes from these upper worlds, which is main essence and only essence is simcha. Ve'ein shira sal yoinim k'moy adam hashar ume'or ba'atzmo hargoshim shal shira beis gabro al goshav arigilim elo de'ashira ve'asimcha hi etzem mitzias hamalach. That what do we see? We see that the person's it's not that a person's like songs and whatnot, and that things that awaken these feelings in a person. The reason we get happy and we get geshmak, it's not because of these things that we did to awaken ourselves, to awaken happiness, right? We think that we're sad or natural, whatever, and then all of a sudden we do something to awaken some happiness, start singing to a niggin, whatever it is, get ourselves happy. Oh, Baruch Hashem says not even close to how it works. El dashir b'asimcha yatzem mitzias hamalach shekol mitziyusa eno ela shira b'simcha b'Hashem yisbarach, right? And that rather for the malachim, and again we are the bechina of malachim, right? Our neshamas of mamish bask from, they come from the upper worlds. We are the bechinas of malachim in this world, so to speak. And the entire essence of the malach is just to be in this natural state of simcha. V'chein hu ba'adam. Similarly with man, just like a malach, the neshama sa'adam kishehi b'tzuras ativit, a neshama in its natural state. Krov ala Hashem v'davga bo b'yizbarach, that a person's neshama in its natural state. Right? What's a natural state? A natural state is if you just don't do anything to it, you just let it be, this is the state that it's going to be in. A person's natural state is kirvas Hashem, is closeness to Hashem. It's a state of natural simcha. That's our neshama. And our neshama just gushes, so to speak. It gushes with simcha.
Is that goshas? Gush?
Yeah. What do you say?
Goshas is like gush.
Yeah. Wow. What do you mean, like?
Saying like that's what.
Oh, you're asking. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's close. Yeah. Exactly. Right. So simcha. So that's the right. So this is an incredible concept that we're learning here. And again, this is brought down many times to find out, especially Torah Soda and whatever it is, that a person's natural state has nothing to do with our actions. When a person feels like, oh, you feel like you're down, oh, I need to do something that makes me happy. And you go drink some alcohol, and you go take some drugs or something like that, right? Like, no, it's chas v'shalom. But the idea is like, there's no sort of way, and we're going to address this question in a second. We're going to address the question. I'm being a boy. I'm sure you all have an obvious question in your mind, and I'm going to address the question. I'm not going to say Shimshon's going to express it. I'm going to read it. But the point is that you don't need to do anything else besides just remove the klipa. You just got to remove a little bit of the darkness that's covering your soul. The moment you just remove a little bit of that darkness, you're going to be in a state of happiness, because that's your Neshama's natural state. And by thinking about this, how do we awaken this? By thinking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu and living this life of Shivisi Hashem and Nagdi Tamid. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always with me. Hashem is always before me. Hu devekos v'kasher la'HaKadosh Baruch Hu bepoel. That's what actually connects a person bepoel, in reality. A person connects himself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'kamosha bir harambam b'mor devuchim she'avanu b'psicha. The Rambam says she'bizman ahu nimsa adam imo yizbarach HaKadosh Baruch Hu yito. One of the most foundational principal points of the Rambam that explains that wherever a person's mind, I think we've discussed this earlier on, but wherever a person's mind is, wherever a person's thoughts are, that's where his neshama is. That's where his spiritual self is. Right? If you close your eyes and you contemplate that you're standing in front of Hashem, that's literally where you are. Because our mind is our ikar connection to the upper worlds. And Hashem gave that to us as a gift. So when we close our eyes, we meditate on that. Right? If you close your eyes and you think that you're standing in front of Hashem, your neshama shoots all the way up, and you are. Because that's the only way you can have any shaykhs to it. This is the foundational point of the Rambam, which is why you're supposed to, again, when you daven, you imagine yourself going through, there's different meditations to have. Close your eyes, imagine yourself going here, whatever it is, different things. I'm not going to go into that right now, and we'll see later in the Sefer, he talks about it. But that's the point of the Rambam. So the point is that this is what brings a person to this ikr devekus is by thinking about it. And that brings you to a place of simcha. When you're davuk to Hashem, that brings you simcha. He says, think about it. Contemplate HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Think about Hashem. V'kvar amra kadmonim shebemakom shenimseis machshavaso shel adam sham hu nimsa mamish ba'osa raga. Right? And the kadmonim say, that's what we just said, that where a person's thoughts are mamish where he is. So also, this is important to recognize the opposite. If you imagine yourself in a dark, bad place, you're imagining inappropriate thoughts, that's where your soul is. See? It's important. Everything is zelu mazeh. And so therefore, if a person davens and thinks about HaKadosh Baruch Hu when he's davening, and he speaks to him b'lashon nochach. Lashon nochach is the second person, right? Directly, like you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you are here, you are this, right? If you put yourself mentally in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, harei be'emes ozev hu be'oso haregel. Es ha'olam ha'shafel ve'nimtza im Hashem mamish. In that moment, you literally disconnect. You leave this world and you enter into a different place. And you mamish nimtza with Hashem. When you're mizdabek your mind and your machshava to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's where you actually go to. Umitztarif el shiras hamalachim bechol garmei hashamayim, and you connect yourself. You join yourself with the shiras of the malachim. That when in davening, if you just think about this and you imagine the malachim singing, you imagine yourself flying up to the heavens and joining the malachim in their shira. That's where you actually are. You're joining the malachim in this pure state of simcha. That's all they do, because and that's how a person, you actually are able to bring yourself to this spiritual state of happiness. But now we have a big question. What's the big question? What's the foundational question? Anybody want to guess the question before anybody goes ahead? Yo, you probably looked already. Cheater. No, I didn't. No kidding. Ask a question. What's the question?
I don't know.
Oh, anybody got a question? What's the question? No obvious question. I had a question when I read this. No, nobody's got it. No. Upazed nimsa pasha l'tmiya gedola. Heyach efshar litzavas ala simcha. No. How can you command a person? How can you tell a person to go be happy? Like, what does that mean? Great, this is all beautiful. We're talking about being spiritually happy. Shkoyach. But do we all live like that constantly? No. Because why? Happiness is a feeling. And I'm not always happy. Okay, I can think about it as much as I want. But Poel, is that going to make me happy necessarily? It's very hard to make a person happy. So what are we talking about here? Right? This all sounds great. But the moment something goes wrong after you leave the shir, right now you're in this room, you're like flying, your minds are running around. Then something's gonna happen. A kid's gonna elbow you in the chest, right after something, I don't know, on the way, he's gonna knock you in the hallway and you're gonna be mad. And all of a sudden you're like, be happy, I don't know. Just think about it. How could you command a person in their feelings? Right? So v'harei, simcha hi hargasha haba b'mila. Because what did we say? We said that simcha is actually something that comes on its own. It's something that comes on itself. Ve'im ein halev b'simcha, ma yoel atzivo yalkoch. Right? If we can't bring ourselves to a place of simcha, simcha is a natural thing. When a good thing happens, do you need to do anything to do simcha? Let's say you win the lottery. Do you need to do something to bring yourself to a place of simcha? No. Let's say you break your toe. Do you need to do anything to bring yourself to? Are you going to be in a state of simcha? Probably not. Right? Chaim's happy. Chaim's unique. But naturally, the moment you break your toe, you're not in a state of simcha. It's a natural thing. We have no way to tilt ourselves to the right, to the left. We have no.
He likes to celebrate. So happy.
There we go. Because he's always happy. He's always happy.
He handled it better than a lot of people.
Baruch Hashem. Chaim's man. Right? So lactose le'yamin to the small. We can't make ourselves. So what do we do? So how do we answer this question? The kvar hikshu akadmonim kush yazua mitzvahs ava v'yira. And this question is brought up by the kadmonim and many times regarding the midos of ava Hashem and yira Hashem. Right? How could a person shein mitzvahs asay gemuros? We know that those are mamish mitzvahs asays from the Torah. To have fear and love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'yahavta es Hashem Elokecha. It's mitzvos aseh d'oraisa to love Hashem. But eich efshar litzavos le'ahov v'liyareh im ein alev ohev v'yareh me'elav. Right? How am I supposed to just bring myself to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu? How can I just bring myself to love anything? If I don't feel the love, I don't have the love. Yeah.
You can answer that.
Oh, you want to try to answer?
Happiness is that like winning the lottery and that, or like fleeting happinesses that go away. The happiness is that he's talking about aren't necessarily the fleeting. It's like a overencompassing different type of happiness.
100%. Beautiful. I think that's a great answer. I mean, but I think the question still remains, even with that though, right? The question still remains is how do you bring yourself, like it doesn't seem natural. I agree with you 100%. Beautiful. 100%.
Yeah, obviously.
That's the essence of it, 100%.
Is he saying kind of similar to like lishma go lishma? Like you and not lishma make yourself happy then.
Oh, could be. I'm not sure what to say that.
Like spark it.
I don't even generally remember. I don't fully remember what he says, but that's definitely an Indian. And similar, I think he's going to say similar to that. Beautiful. Shkoyach, yeah.
You also say that you're always trying to look at the positive side.
So you could. So you could do something to bring yourself.
That's what saying what John Paris is saying. How although there's some but stuff you still bring looking at the positive side of how it was something that he wanted, that he was happy to do and wanted to do for the other people, and he would have had no no regrets or something. He was finding positive in the bad.
Wow.
You're saying he had no regrets because there was nothing else.
I heard it. Okay. Wow.
You're saying he had no regrets because his son came and there was nothing else he could have done. It wasn't something that he did.
Wow. Wow. So let's see how he answers. I don't even fully remember. I think everything you guys just said is 100%. And let's see what the Rav says. Right? V'tirtzu. So how do we answer this? She mitzvah hi la'asos maisim hamevim lidei ava v'yira v'achrach. What are we saying? That what's the ikr? The ikr is around that we say yes. A person can't necessarily just bring yourself to a state of happiness automatically, right? There's certain situations you just can't be happy. But what can a person, and say with ava and yira, but what can a person do? A person could do actions and do things to bring you to a state of happiness. Now, what does that mean? The king Kosav Rambam, Perak Bezi Hilchos Yisodei Torah, V'zal V'heyach Haderech LaAvos Avirasa. The Rambam asks, what's the way to Ava Hashem Yiras Hashem? B'shah she'izbonin ha'odeh b'maisav. Uberov and iflay magdoli. When a person is contemplating the deeds of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the wondrous things that Hashem creates. Again, we just think about the meditation of who created the tree, who created the sky, who created the roots, who created, just go all the way up. It goes right up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The yira mehem chachmaso she'ein lo erech v'lo kates, and all of a sudden that awakens a yira on you, right? This concept of thinking this creates an awe of Hashem. You're like, wow, I can't. What do we say? We say I can't create space. Someone must have created it. Wow, I can't even begin to think and imagine how I could even begin to start to create space. How can I create a planet? I have no idea, right? That's how you start to feel this yira of Hashem. Miyad, and immediately, what does he say? The Rambam says immediately miyad. Hu ohev umeshabeach umefar umetaiva taiva gedola leyada Hashem agadol kimo shamar David sama nafshi lehim la'achai. That immediately that a person, when you contemplate these things and you realize how high Hashem is and how beyond and how what He does for us and what you realize, like, this is a Kodesh Baruch we're talking about. Like we said the other day, this is the Ribono Shalom we're talking about. Like literally, Ribono Shalom. Like you want to get close to a king, okay, shkoyach. This is like Hashem. Like not even like nothing is shy to that. Hashem goes beyond space and time. Like and then all of a sudden you thirst for that relationship, right? Miyad who near to lacharav. Then you start to tremble and what, as the Rambam says. So what does Rosh Hashanah say? Zoe gam cheva simcha. This is the same concept in terms of our cheva simcha. What do? She'ima ava v'ayira tavu gam simcha b'achrach. That what it comes naturally. He says the first step to achieving the simcha and the simcha of the spiritual simcha we're talking about. He says yes, it's not just like a natural thing that's going to come. There's going to be certain times where the point is that, maybe you're not feeling, maybe you're stuck in the Gemara, you're not feeling this closeness, whatever it is, right? But you have to remember something, that your neshama is in a natural state of simcha. But now what you have to do is you have to remove some of that darkness, you have to remove that cloud, you have to remove that choshech. It's there, right? How do we do that? The first by awakening your ava and yiras Hashem. Then all of a sudden, once you recognize what you're actually doing, when you're actually reading the words of the Torah and you're understanding, you're learning, you're doing your avodas Hashem, you recognize what that actually does for you, what that actually does for the world. That's going to naturally bring you back to your natural state of simcha and remove those clouds from around you. This is the natural state of your neshama. And to go back to its natural state. You're not doing anything crazy. By you just simply awakening Avas Hashem, Yiras Hashem, and giving yourself this simcha, bringing yourself this spiritual simcha, you're just bringing yourself back to a natural state. You already have it. V'chein amru midai midai dabri bechodecha home libi el dodecha. Right, my heart is coming after home libi el dodecha. Right, coming after my beloved. Right, that all you want is that once you want, the more you get, the more closer you get. And so the point is, Bekitzer, what he's saying as a whole, this concept that we always have to remember, that simcha is our natural state. So we can't ever get discouraged. We never get discouraged. If you're feeling a not geshmak in learning, you're feeling not geshmak in tefillah, you're feeling not geshmak anytime. The point is, your natural being is geshmak. That's the idea. That's the point. Your neshama is geshmak. That's the idea. It's a state of geshmak. Your neshama is the only reason you're alive right now. The only reason your neshama has any chayos is because it's receiving all of the shefa and bracha from the upper worlds right now. That's the only reason you're alive. We all believe that. Of course we believe that's Ikar Yesod. That's the only reason we're alive right now. And what's going on up there? What's the shefa that we're receiving? We're receiving the shefa that the higher worlds are just filled with simcha, because up there Hashem is more revealed. Up there the malachim are just singing and praising Kadosh Baruch Hu all day, and a constant state of simcha. Their entire avodah is simcha. They don't have to do anything else besides just be all day with simcha. And therefore that comes down into us. That's that now our neshama is in that state. And the only reason we don't feel that natural simcha in general is because it gets blocked over and clouded up by all the gashmis and olam hazeh and all these challenges and all the yetzaharas and all these different things, because that's the avodah of this world, is to peel away that klipa, is to peel away that shmutz that's just covering it. And the way to peel it away is to think about, again, how can you awaken yourself in a state of simcha? It's not possible just to feel simcha naturally, right? Because the point is, we're saying your natural state is simcha, but there's something blocking it. So you have to do something. What do you have to do? You could bring yourself to the state of simcha. How do you bring yourself to the state of simcha? You have to remove the shmutz. And you have to do things that are going to bring you to a state of spiritual simcha. It says in the Gemara in Shabbos also that it actually talks about that the reason that the Leviim, right? Oh, do we have a Leviim or we have a Kohen here? Oh, you have a Levi? What do the Leviim do with the instruments? You know what I'm talking about? Before they did their avodah? It says the Gemara in Shabbos. Okay, yes. Lazy Levi. No, I'm kidding. No, basically, yeah, beautiful. They play music, right? Good. Why? And why? So what was the point of playing the music? The whole point of playing the music was actually in order to stir everybody's hearts to the avodah. It was to like awaken. There's something inside of you, right? Because music awakens, and we actually learn from there. We learn from that Gemara that one of the things that awakens like somebody's neshama, that inspires a person to daven, is like nigunim. You know, if for some people before davening is like, just like taking a deep breath, like putting in your earpods, like listening to some whatever, just like some music, whatever it is, just to calm you down and get you into place. Some people that it says in the Gemara, it's a mamish brought in the Gemara that's a way to awaken your soul and a way to awaken Ruach HaKodesh. That was before the Nevi'im went to prophesize. That's what they did. I don't know if it was all of them or whatnot, but there's a dimension over there that some Nevi'im, that they had they had instruments and they would play music. It would get them into the state of spiritual simcha. And then they were right to have a nevuah because it got to this happy place. So again, we do these things. Do what makes you do actions to bring you to place simcha, because all you have to do is to just remove the shmutz. And the ikr way to do that is by contemplating Avos Hashem, Yiras Hashem, all these different things. But as Hashem, we should be zochet to see much simcha in our lives. Shkoyach.